In the palace, regardless of rank, everyone was very concerned with their image and put on airs. This kind of hierarchical system was deeply ingrained in everyone's minds at the time. Everyone felt that people were divided into different classes. Even in a small kitchen like the imperial kitchen, there was clear discrimination based on rank. Even if I'm just a step higher than you, I can still bully you. Every day, seeing so many dishes laid out before her, what did Empress Dowager Cixi prefer? Upon closer reading, we find that although she could eat all kinds of rare delicacies, Cixi had quite simple tastes. She liked ducks, especially stewed fat ducks. This involved putting a duck in a porcelain jar, adding half a pot of water in a dry pot, sealing the porcelain jar inside, and steaming it over a low flame. It took 3 days to cook until the entire duck was tender enough to be effortlessly picked apart with chopsticks. It's a luxurious treat that you can try when you have some leisure time. Cixi also enjoyed smoked or roasted dishes like roasted duck, suckling pig, smoked chicken, and braised lamb legs. Did you notice she was quite a carnivore? As she grew older and her teeth weren't as good, she particularly enjoyed cherry meat. How was this dish made? First, finely cut good pork into small pieces, add seasoning, put the pork pieces and cherries together in a white porcelain jar, soak them in water, and then place them over a low flame for over 10 hours. It sounds simple enough. By the time it's done, the meat is tender, and the aroma of cherries melds with the meat, making the soup even more flavorful than the meat itself. Derling also mentioned that although there were many expensive ingredients like sea cucumber and tremella fungus, either Cixi didn't like them, or they simply weren't prepared well. Nevertheless, what she often ate remained quite ordinary, without any particularly outstanding dishes. During this ancestral pilgrimage, accompanying Cixi were Emperor Guangxu and Empress Dowager Longyu, officials from the Internal Affairs Office, and various ministers. Additionally, there was a particularly special feature, a dedicated orchestra. Derling remarked that in the public's impression, Empress Dowager seemed like a superficial, elderly woman who rarely interacted with the outside world. However, the reality was different. Cixi possessed a considerable amount of knowledge and learning that surpassed that of the average person. Cixi had her own exclusive orchestra, showing her rather artistic and romantic side. Inside, there were several very ancient instruments, and only those skilled in playing these instruments knew their respective histories. Cixi cherished them dearly, taking her orchestra with her wherever she went. Derling also wrote, "In the palace, the Empress Dowager always had a grand presence. Comparatively, this trip to Fengtian was quite restrained. Take, for example, the personal ladies-in-waiting and palace maids who served her. Only about 20-something people accompanied her, including 8 ladies-in-waiting and several palace maids. These people had to remain in the Empress Dowager's carriage, quietly awaiting her orders. At any moment she might think of one of us. Therefore, even if it wasn't one's shift, nobody dared to step away." Reading this, we can also feel the heavy authority and grandeur of the royal family. It may seem unnecessary, but indeed, it was not free. As the train journeyed further away, when this imperial train finally neared Fengtian, summer was almost upon them. The warm breeze blowing in felt intoxicating. The Empress Dowager also sensed the late spring atmosphere. One day she suddenly said to Derling, "Spring is truly lovely. This warm weather makes one feel young again. It's the season for the young." After saying this, Cixi even started reciting poetry with a low yet beautiful tone. It was from the Tang Dynasty poet Meng Haoran's "Spring Dawn." Spring slumbers unaware of morn. All around one hears the birds call. Last night, the sound of wind and rain. How many fallen flowers accounted for?